Hello, everyone. How does one that spent time on welfare as a child grow up to be financially successful enough to be able to splurge on a phone game like Empires and Puzzles and own this beautiful home in the Caribbean? Was it the lottery, an inheritance, an insanely high paying job? No, it was not any of these. It was as simple as learning to become financially fluent and sound through basic principles that anyone can apply. Just like I enjoy sharing knowledge that I have learned while playing Empires and Puzzles, I also enjoy sharing knowledge on becoming financially strong through multiple income streams and smart investments. In addition to my books about Empires and Puzzles, one can also find my book, Build $1 Million Net Worth While Achieving Perfect Credit, on Amazon. In this book, I detail all the secrets of my financial success. These strategies help me get ahead. Maybe they can help you too. Look for the link in the description below. Welcome everyone to another Empires and Puzzles Books video. Today I want to talk about a huge mistake that I'm predicting we're all about to make. And the fact that we're all going to basically be coercing each other to make the same mistake. And I think it's really unfortunate. And I would be thrilled if I end up eating these words and I am wrong. So let me talk a little bit about why we're going to make the mistake that we're going to make. It has to do with these limit breakers and how we're spending them and where we're putting them. So let's imagine it's the end of 2018 in the game, and Guinevere and Aegir are running amok as the troubling tanks to beat. They're just all powerful. And everyone has them on their defense team that was lucky enough to get them. And limit breakers came out at that time. And the advice of the community, and I'm speaking broadly, is that these rare items like limit breakers should be used to bolster our defense teams. So everybody piles limit breakers on Aegir and Guinevere. Now let's fast forward to 2019. And Teloria is queen, with Gravemaker and Vila by her side, running amok everywhere. Let's say limit breakers were released at that time. The community would say these rare limit breakers should be used on our defense teams. So everybody puts their limit breakers all over Teloria and Vila, and maybe Gravemaker. And now here we are in post-2020, and we're in the meta of Beras and Freas dominating the world of tanks, with ninjas often by their side, Frigg and Odin next door. And now limit breakers actually exist, and the advice of the community is we need to put them on our defense teams. And I think this is a huge mistake. Would you be thrilled right now if your limit breakers were on Guinevere and Aegir? Would you be thrilled now if your limit breakers were on Teloria and Vila? Maybe Gravemaker wouldn't be bad. The point is the meta changes and defense setups and strategies change. And I think it's just, if these things are going to be as rare as they seem to be, and we need to use a combination of multiple tiers of them for a 5-star, at the decision not to put them on 3 and 4 stars, I think it's going to be a huge mistake to invest these in our defense teams. But we're going to all do it, and we're going to all force each other to do it, because it's going to push war defenses up. And then, the Magic Tower will come out later this year, or Season 5, or something that's going to change the defense meta. And we're going to have these heroes that are going to be used as often as Aegir and Guinevere and Vila and Teloria. And I just think it's a huge strategic error. Now, part of this is something else that just baffles me about our community. And it's this fascination with building defense teams. New heroes are released, and everybody's like, oh, how are they on defense? Do we want to use them as the tank? Do we want to use them as flank? And I find it frankly bizarre that we are so focused on the defense team in a game where we don't actually get to play the defense team. The only joy we can get from a defense team is trying to figure out the strategy of putting one together and hoping that it holds its ground. We don't even get to see it unless we happen to know players attacking us and they can send us videos of it. So it seems nonsensical to me to focus so much on defense teams when they are not a crucial part of our gameplay, of when we get to actually enjoy the game and play and attack and raid other people and war other people. So I'm a little perturbed that we're all going to be on the precipice of making this huge mistake of saving these precious ethers so that we can advance our precious defense teams that we know with the right board and the right heroes will be slaughtered by a 4-star team anyway. So, now that begs the question. I'm never a fan of just pointing out a problem. I prefer to point out a solution or suggest what I feel makes the most sense. To me, if we could go back to 2018, along with Guinevere and Ajir running amok, there were some other new heroes that came out at that time. Evelyn, Hero of the Month, Elemental Defense down for Nature, Guardian, Panther. And I ask you now, if it was back in 2018 and you had those heroes and you limit broke them at that time, would you be much happier today if you had this maxed Guinevere or if you had a maxed Evelyn or Guardian Panther? My point is, certain heroes I feel are going to be timeless and effective regardless of the meta. Elemental Defense down, I will always argue, is one of the most important specials in the game. Ergo, putting line limit breakers on Elemental Defense down heroes makes the most sense to me until we have a grasp on what's going on with these. Not only are they timeless heroes, but they also are applicable to every single part of this game. Elemental Defense down is huge for Titans. It is huge for War. It is huge for raiding. It is huge for map quests. It's huge for trials. It is huge for the challenge events, the Ninja Towers, the Magic Tower coming up. This game is based on elements and color stacking, whether you go with a 3-stack, a 4-stack, a 5-stack, or even if it's just 2 stacks. The benefit of Elemental Defense down is indisputable. So my preference would be to be using my line breakers on those heroes that I know that will always be effective in every single part of the game. My second suggestion for line breakers, and this should be no surprise, would be defense down heroes, because the two of them stack and they are a powerful combination in any aspect of the game. And generally we rarely use elemental defense down heroes in our defense, which means that I would be using these limit breakers on heroes that I actually get to play and enjoy every single day in every aspect of the game. So I don't know that there is a thing we can do about it. I think we are just a mob of players that so bow down and worship the holy grail of the defense team that we're going to end up coercing each other, whether we want to or not, to line break and max our defense teams, even though we can sit here and tell each other that in 6 months or a year these defense teams are going to be worthless. And I just find that incredibly frustrating. The flip side of this is ethers could go the same way as emblems. They're very rare, and then in 6 months to a year, Small Giant will discount the value of them, and then soon thereafter make them readily available in lots of places, making them almost worthless, and maybe this will all be for naught, and maybe I'm wrong. But if they do keep these precious and rare, I just can't help but think saving these to put on defense teams that are going to be obsolete is nonsensical to me. But it is what it is. I'm aware that many alliances, my own included, are debating about strategies to use line breakers and limit breakers and what we're going to do about these things. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Am I totally off on this? Am I incorrect in my philosophizing about where these things should go? I just find it odd to get such a new, unique toy and we put it on heroes that other people get to play with. I would much rather play with the new toys myself. But again, interested to hear your thoughts. Point out they have flaws in my logic. Support, deny, counter. Let's hear your thoughts on this. Does it make sense to invest these precious things into defense teams? What do you think?